Hello, my fellow neurodivergent friends. This is Travis in the Uncanny Valley. I want to talk about note taking. I wouldn't say it's obsessive and I wouldn't say it's compulsive by nature, but I definitely take a lot of notes. Um, and I guess what I'm really more wanting to talk about is why behavior is such a, in my opinion, why behavior itself is such a terrible way to figure out what your issues are. Because, um, well, for instance, obsessive note taking can very easily look like OCD behavior, but I don't obsess over note taking for the sake of note taking. I take notes because I got a little note here where I wrote this down. Note taking to me is more like finding a stray puzzle piece to a beautiful picture. Many of the others I find are thrown away. So it's not that I take notes of anything that wanders through my mind. It's not that I feel like I have to take a note. It's going to sound a little bit like that. It's from after decades of thinking, oh, I'll just remember that. Even like a funny joke, I'll just remember that joke. Whatever it is, realizing like I don't really have a good filing system. It's kind of just thrown into this bottomless pit where I realized I do not have the capacity. There is no filing system. I have no capacity for recalling whatever it was. So the reason that I take notes compulsively is because I decide whether it's something that I think of as, like I said, like a stray puzzle piece to a picture I want to see someday. Um, but I don't have the picture of the box. I don't know what the picture is going to be. So I take a little note and I put it away somewhere. So I don't have to pretend that I will just somehow, as if by magic, remember that thing that I had no ability to associate with a bigger picture. So, I'm basically taking something that is important to me, um, and taking it out of the little electrical impulses in my brain and manifesting it in scribbles on a piece of paper and putting it somewhere. Now, that's not to say that I have a physical filing system that will allow me to easily find that, but it exists now in the physical world. And, I don't really have a good way to know where I would possibly put that in the future. But it's on paper now. Like, to me, that is what I'm trying to do. Like, that's it. It's done. Like, it's a concept like saying note taking to me is more like finding a stray puzzle piece. That's a concept that I have on one side of a half of a 3x5 note card that now I don't have to remember that. Where would I put that? I don't want to retain every little random thing that crosses my mind, but I wanted to say that here and now, so I wrote it down and I was able to say that. So that serves a purpose, which is another thing because like obsessive compulsive personality disorder, um, one of the things about that is obsessive note taking. Well, it's so obsessive that the purpose of the note taking gets kind of lost in the note taking. Like to me, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't understand that mindset. Like, to me, the purpose of the note is so I have the note. I need the note. I just don't know where I need it yet. It's not taking up a lot of room. I'm taking something, like I said, that's in my brain. As it becomes an idea, I'm no longer pretending that I have a good enough memory to remember it. So, yeah, so that's just one example. I mean, and this is my notes. Like, I'm not going to show them to you, but like, here's both sides of a half an index card that I cut the index cards in half because notes usually aren't that big. Here's both sides of half of an index card, both sides of half of a different index card, one side of an index card. Here's two that are different grocery lists from this past several days. Like, they're very useful. Like, it's not that I think that fuel for my truck and coffee filters. It's not that I think these are important ideas, but if I don't write it down, I will forget it. I will just forget. The only way that this would not serve its purpose is if I forget to bring it. But even then, I can go back to the store. I have a list of things that I need. And, let's just go on there for a second. I know this is not interesting, but both sides of a little piece of paper. An envelope. The front of the envelope has a note. Back of the envelope has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes on it. And one of these notes is about obsessive note taking. Because and if I wasn't doing this right now, I would have forgotten about it. And to me, okay, here it is. To me, obsessive note taking is very similar to other people's obsessive talking. You might not think my obsessive note taking, and I'm just calling it obsessive. I'm using that colloquially. I obsess over it that because it's so useful. It's compulsive by design. I trained myself to where I stopped pretending that I'm going to remember things. So I am intentionally stopping what I'm doing and writing a note or putting a note in my phone or something. So it's not something that is in me that's not within my control. It's very intentional. So, but here, yeah. So obsessive note taking is similar to others' obsessive talking. We just don't go around being an armchair psychologist about other people's chit chat. It's not a symptom of a thing or appearing to be a symptom of something else. It's seen for whatever reason. It's seen as healthy, and doesn't matter how mindless or whether it's whether it's interesting to the other person. Now, if it's not interesting in a neurotypical way, then that's a symptom. But if it's not interesting to a neurodivergent, that is somehow also a neurodivergence symptom. So here is another card. Here is, and this is all just from the past few days. And here's 2 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper where, similar to those, I'm manifesting this into a physical object. I drew a graph on this one and a linear graph on the other one. This one, the first graph has both X and Y axes, and the other one is a linear graph that deals with the progression of something through time. That's helping me figure it out, because if I cannot picture something, I cannot understand it. So these notes are helping me do that. I really hope that not too many years from now that we're able to stop asking people about their behavior and then not have follow-up questions. You might be asked, do you do this or this? Or do you do this? And it's like, yeah. And then it's like, okay, do you do? It's like, whoa, hold on. You want to ask me why? Because, this is probably on some personality profile or some diagnostic tool, and you're not asking me why I do it. It's so presumptive. It's troubling and it's alarming. And I guess maybe people in general aren't, since you're not required to meditate on past experiences or on your own experiences or on why you do things. Maybe it would come off as presumptive that you might even know why you do things, but I know why I do things by and large. I'm learning every day, but at least I could answer the question, but they're just not questions that are asked very often. And that's troubling to me. So what is something like that you deal with, that it's somehow a symptom of something or one of a few things as a potential symptom, but it just doesn't seem to ring true for you because maybe it's not your motivation? So put something down in the comments if you have something similar to that. Yeah, thanks.